Well, thank you very much for coming on the call. I really, really appreciate it. How long is it since we started working together? I think you said in an email recently, didn't you? Was it
2017, I think it was.
7 years? That's crazy, isn't it? Crikey.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that at all.
It's gone quite quickly.
Yeah, it has.
Only
hasn't
for
it?
COVID in the middle. And
Well,
it
that is
makes
true, actually. Yes,
what
we
makes
did.
it even stranger. So
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, I think you found us on Google, I think. I don't know whether you can remember back to
yeah, I think
2017.
so. And I think I was looking for something that was local to me
That's right,
as well
yeah.
for the business, because I thought it'd be really nice if occasionally we could meet face to face. It kind of wasn't always on Zoom and things like that. So I was looking at local companies as well.
Yes, because the company StaySafe is in London, but you're based
Yeah.
in Horsham, West Sussex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So StaySafe are mainly a loan working app for
Yes,
business to
yeah,
business.
we're SaaS really, so software as a service within health and safety, but yeah, focused completely on lone worker safety. Yeah, we had other agencies in the past before we started working with you guys.
And then we came along, and I think your demand generation, the leads just weren't heading in the right direction, I think, were they?
Yeah,
Back then?
we were looking to really accelerate our sort of inbound lead generation, and we were looking for a company that would feel like an extension. We're a really small team, and we wanted a company that really felt that they were on the other end of the phone and kind of part of our team. Didn't really feel like we were getting that with our previous agency, and so we're looking for a partner, I guess, in marketing, online marketing.
How has it been working with our team?
I think it's been brilliant. I think it was one of the best decisions that we made as a team to work with Smartmonkey. It's always has been that partnership that we were looking for. I think that you guys have taken such a lot of effort to understand our goals and our product and what it is that we're trying to achieve. And we did, yeah, we found that extension, those extra team members that we needed.
Initially, we worked on building up your ranking for your top tier keywords.
Yes, yeah.
Then we
that
moved.
was kind of a start point, I think. Yeah, building up the traffic, but of course relevant traffic was really key for us in the beginning. And also we did a fair amount of work on our conversion rate optimization, so the on-page stuff, because it was one thing getting some traffic there, but then we obviously needed to make sure that they were going to inquire with us and kind of go on and go through the sales process.
And that's sort of where the whole site has evolved, hasn't it, really? So we've worked through bits of the site. I think we started off on the conversion rate optimization in the blog because that was the highest traffic coming through.
Yeah, you guys identified sort of like the top 10, I think it was, blogs. That was where we were getting lots and lots of traffic. But obviously they're informational, they're not necessarily going to convert into customers. So we were looking at ways that once they were on that page, ways that we can put our product in front of them, ways that we can kind of take them further on that journey. And we worked quite closely, I think, to start putting calls to action within the text and also the templates of those pages, so that there were things that were relevant on the page that were kind of going to drive people that little bit further into looking into us.
Throughout this process, we've been looking at building you up as experts as well in your field, which is so important with Google Eat, etc. So that definitely featured on the blog. We've got authors on there now, haven't we? And good bios for key people in your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we built out who was writing that content, all the experts that we have in the different departments, and kind of looking at different ways that we could include their expertise on the page, but also always tying that back to keywords and making sure that it was working quite hard for. And it's a fine balance, isn't it, between making sure that what you're writing is really interesting for the users, but also that it's going to perform really well for SEO. And I think that we've hopefully, found that kind of sweet spot of content and keyword.
I mean, it's been lovely working, for this long with you, because we've taken that whole journey from those sort of bottom of funnel keywords that we focused on right at the beginning, getting you top 3, I think you're pretty much across the board in all of those top tier keywords.
Yep. Yeah.
And then looking at the middle of funnel and top of funnel and building out content journeys around people that are sort of not quite there in their journey yet. So.
Yeah, and working with you guys for so long, I think, has allowed us to get that far and kind of, go beyond kind of those. I think sometimes when you first start working with a company, it's quite easy in a sense to kind of tackle those kind of low-hanging fruit and kind of make that work. But when you are working with someone as long as we've been working together, it's keeping that momentum going. And I know that's probably at times been an extra challenge for you, and it is for us. Like, where do you go next when you're already performing well? And we have got to the point where we get lots and lots of inbound inquiries every month. What's the next thing? And I've always felt that the team at Smartmonkey has kind of been ready to go to the next level and kind of looking out at our industry and other ways that we could be sort of optimizing and eating up keywords and traffic that's still really relevant, but has had to build well beyond where we started with our kind of initial kind of product focused keywords, because we sort of got that tick in the box.
Yeah, well, for us it's good fun. We that's what we love, so that's all good. And also the international sites as well. We played quite a big part in that, and making sure that was all set up properly on the website, so your English speaking countries.
And I know that and the way that we had it set up was not easy. So there's been a lot of sort of work on the href lang tags and kind of getting the right people coming to the right site, because there's 5 of them. Yes, so not only were we looking at UK focused sort of keywords and traffic, we were doing that for Australia, New Zealand, Canada and America as well, throughout our time working with you.
I had a little look the other day actually, and the international sites are really picking up as well. They've always done quite well, but they're still picking up, so that's nice to see. But they're still growing. And how do you find working with the team at Smartmonkey?
I find it really easy. I just think it's a really sort of collaborative relationship. As I said, always on the end of the phone, kind of never feel that kind of we're taking up too much of your time, kind of you're always there. Really proactive. It's definitely not always us poking for what's next and kind of, what's the next thing that we're going to do. I feel that, the guys come to us and say, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? Which is really, really nice. And especially from the digital PR aspect, because that has to be really kind of reactive to what's going on in the market. And I found that Hannah is, several times a week dropping me a note saying, have you seen this? Or could we just, would you be happy to comment on this? And it's just so nice to have someone that's so involved with what we're doing.
That's great. Yeah, brilliant. Because that's something we've been doing a lot more of recently, isn't it, on the digital PR side and building the authority of the site. So
yeah.
We've got some good pieces in HR news website.
We've had lots of stuff in HR news, Personnel Today, some of the business press. And again, it's that balance between it's working really well for digital PR and our domain authority, but also it's written really nicely that it's actually, it's interesting to readers, it's interesting to the journalist, and it is actually getting picked up, and then we can use it to share on our social media as well, which is really nice.
Superb. Oh, that's good. Yeah, double whammy. And do we talk, have we always talked in your language? Do you find, obviously your marketing team, you've headed up the marketing team in the past, and have we always talked, do you understand what we've been
about? I think it's always been, because I think that's a challenge sometimes, isn't it, when you're sort of, certainly with SEO and technical SEO, it can be a bit difficult to understand as a client, kind of, when you're going into detail. And I feel like everyone's always kind of simplified that down, or kind of teched it up as well for our web team who do need to know the detail. You guys know it, and then for those of us sort of that are working with 2 hats on, SEO but also kind of general marketing, we've always understood, I think, what you're talking about and the technical things that we need to, but without going into too much detail that we're confused.
That's good.
And not quite sure what's going on.
A bit of a balance there then.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And reporting wise, so we obviously have a monthly call with you, and then reporting as well. And do you find the reports easy to understand and see what's working and what's not working?
Yeah, definitely, especially the monthly written reports, because they are sort of full written kind of commentary on what has happened in the month. And I think that's really nice. It's not just data tables. We've got all of that as well. But there's that kind of, commentary that is really helpful. And also to share, brilliant document just to send around to other team members. And it's a couple of pages that they can, digest and understand what's happened.
Fantastic. I suppose the big question is what has been the impact of working with us over the last 7 years?
The impact has been huge. I think that kind of working with you guys has been one of the, if not the top sort of decision that we made in order to accelerate our growth. We get so much traffic, and it's relevant traffic. I think when we started working together, we were probably getting, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 inbound inquiries a month. Not bad, but kind of, we had really aggressive sort of growth plans as a company. And then at this point in time, we get over 200, sometimes tipping into 250 or higher every month in, month out. And that is inbound, through our website. And I think if we'd not been working in partnership with you guys, I don't think we would be at that point today. It was a great decision.
Amazing. I like to hear that. That's fantastic. Makes me very happy. How have you found us understanding your business and your products and what you do, and how has that come across in the content?
I think you guys from the outset took a lot of time to understand our market, and did a lot of research, and we were really impressed from the moment that you guys came in and presented to us, that kind of the depth that you've gone into to kind of understand our industry was really impressive. And that sort of fed through to kind of all the content work that we've done. So not only is it very focused on our product, but it's gone wider than that. Like I was saying earlier about, kind of once you've got the tick in the box for those top keywords, where do you go next? And I feel that you understand where the space that we work in well enough to make those recommendations, and still appeal to our customers and those kind of target sort of user base and traffic, without going too off piste. I think you've kind of nailed it in terms of kind of understanding who we are, but also the wider market that we operate in as well.
I also remember over COVID it was slightly tricky, wasn't it, with your name, because you're StaySafe, and everyone was searching, so that did give us a little bit of a blip in the
everyone hashtag StaySafe.
Yeah,
that's great. But they're not interested in lone worker. No, that was hard. We had a nice traffic spike.
You did, but then it makes the traffic after not look so good.
Yeah, exactly. It's down, but we knew why. It was fine. Exactly. We knew what was going on.
From obviously 7 years we've been working with you, and now to date you're at a point where the business is changing, and you've now been bought out by a much larger company.
So we've been on a big journey.
Has that been as a result of where you've got to with StaySafe, that you've sort of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were on when we first started working together, we were established enough. Like I say, we were getting inquiries, but we had a board of directors that wanted more. They wanted to grow it, and eventually they wanted, obviously, to sell it. And we have eventually, we got to that point, and have been sort of bought. We were bought 18 months ago. We're now part of a much larger company. It's about 900 people. So we started out, I think there were about 5 of us in StaySafe. We went to about 40, and then we've joined them. And I think, to get to that stage where you've been bought, you have to have, it was the online presence, it was how, the number of inquiries we were getting. They bought a ready-made kind of product that was performing really, really well with an established brand. And a huge part of that is what we managed to do with our website and the number of inquiries we're getting, because that's kind of what piqued their interest and proved to them that kind of, we were a worthwhile investment. And now they can build on that. And, it's been a real kind of success story, I think, for
fantastic. Us. That's really great. Really good to hear. What would you, if someone was considering taking us on, or a business marketing team considering taking us on, is there anything you would say to them, or advice you'd give them?
Yeah, I'd just say absolutely go for it. That, especially if you're interested in inbound lead generation, because working with you guys has meant that we, achieved some incredible sort of targets, and really grew our presence. And yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend you guys to anybody that's looking to do that and grow their brand.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Well, we've loved working with you all this time. So yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
you go
I
from
know. I
strength to
hope it
strength.
continues, Beth. I hope we can find ways to kind of keep this going, even though we're part of a much bigger company.
Yeah. And I also have to ask, is that a cat in your background?
Oh yes.
Oh, look.
Sleep on the chair. Likes to be part of the action at all times.
Yeah. Very fluffy cat. Oh, thank you, Helen. You're an absolute superstar.